All right, folks, welcome back. It is November 28th, and let's have a look and see what the Advent calendar has in store for us today. So now we're working our way down the right side of the outside windows. So in December, we'll start going down the main Advent calendar. So today, first offering we've got up for November 28th is George Balanchine's The Nutcracker. And you'll notice here that the rating is ho-ho. Two hoes. It's watchable, it's okay, but I have a few issues with it. Well, particularly what issues do I have with it? Well, for starters, the Nutcracker Ballet is something I associate with Christmas going right back to my childhood. My dad used to conduct for the National Ballet of Canada, so when I was a little boy, I would be trotted off every year to see the Nutcracker. So very strong association between the Nutcracker Ballet and Christmas, so I love to watch it every Christmas. I will be talking about another version of the Nutcracker, which I watch every Christmas a little bit later on in this series, but that other version of the Nutcracker does not have the whole ballet. It's missing about 20 minutes of the ballet. So the reason I watched this version, George Balanchine's version of the Nutcracker, which was released I think in 1992, is because it does have it does feature the whole ballet, all of the music. It's a very opulently mounted production. However, it does have a couple of little issues. The first issue is that in order to attract audiences, it was felt that a recognizable name needed to be attached to the project. So Macaulay Culkin was cast as the Nutcracker Prince. Needless to say, having a production of the Nutcracker in which one of the principal characters can't dance is more than a little bit of a problem, so they do manage to get their way around that. The other issue is that although it is a beautifully mounted, opulent production, the film doesn't really play like a film. The film plays like a filmed record of a staged performance of the ballet. So even though they do try to the convention with stage productions is that they're often not too concerned with excessive realism. So it's considered to be perfectly okay to have scenography that looks a little stagey, whereas in film, the convention, the expectation of the audience more lies towards realistic settings. And what happens in this production is that they tend to try to nod to the more realistic look of film rather than the stagey look of the ballet, but it doesn't quite come off. It still maintains a lot of its staginess, so for that reason it really isn't successful as a film. It more works as a filmed record of a stage ballet performance. Now that being said, again, it's beautiful to look at. The production design is absolutely opulent, and the dancers, other than Macaulay Culkin, are fantastic, so it is worth watching just as a filmed record of that ballet performance, and you do actually get to listen to and see the entire Nutcracker Ballet. So, two hoes here, a ho-ho for the Nutcracker. Second item that I'd like to look at today on November 28th is, drumroll, Krampus. Now, this is an interesting choice. I've given it two hoes here, but I'd just like to explain my rating a little bit. So firstly, welcome to Film Criticism 101. Generally speaking, any critic with any sort of integrity attempts to judge a film based on its own merits and what it sets out to do. So I'm not going to judge Raiders of the Lost Ark according to the same criteria that I'm going to judge Citizen Kane. Raiders of the Lost Ark is not interested in trying to be Citizen Kane or anything like Citizen Kane. It's trying to do something entirely different, so it's only fair to judge it by that criteria. So firstly, objectively judging Krampus as a film, according to what it sets out to do, it sets out to be a sort of merger between a Christmas movie and a horror movie. I give it 3 stars. Good job. The movie moves well. It has its action scenes. It has its highs. It has its lows. On the whole, it deserves 3 stars. It's a good, fun movie. So why is it only on the ho-ho list here, the 2-star list here? Well, remember that this list is a list of favorite Christmas movies, and although it's a good movie, which is why I watch it every year, as a sort of favorite Christmas movie of mine, there are a couple of issues. The first issue is that in order for it to work as horror, it's really got to serve up some horrifying stuff. However, it's also pretty concerned with keeping its PG rating. So really bad, terrible things are implied, but there's a lot of, to borrow a phrase from a horror filmmaker, producer named Dan Curtis, you can't just give them sizzle, but at some point you gotta give them some steak. In the horror department, this film serves up a lot of sizzle. It tries to serve up a lot of foreboding, a lot of atmosphere, but in order to maintain its PG rating, it just can't give you the really horrible blood, gore, guts, veins, maggots that you would expect at the end of the film. It comes close, but it doesn't quite work in terms of horror. Now, in terms of how it works as a Christmas movie, the closest type of Christmas movie that it fits in with is the dysfunctional family Christmas movie. Basically, people in the family get thrown together over the holiday season, and they're also disparate. They're also different. You have the liberal side of the family and the conservative side of the family. You have the affluent side of the family and the poor side of the family, and the movie is usually about how the members of the family clash and don't get along and are generally dysfunctional. Now, later on in December, we'll be talking about another dysfunctional family Christmas movie, which is absolutely brilliant. And the dysfunction in that film, I won't tell you what it is, but it comes organically from the characters, so it seems real. Here in Krampus, the dysfunction seems contrived. It seems that you just have the ultra-liberal, affluent branch of the family thrown together with the ultra-conservative, white trash branch of the family, just so they can all sit together and hate each other and get the main action of the movie flowing with the monster coming. So for this reason, although Krampus is judged by its own a good movie, it gets a ho-ho rating as a Christmas movie. It's fine, I watch it every year, but it's not one of the ones I especially look forward to, and it's not one of the ones I think is a great capital M movie. Alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed today's review, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.